here, please.
Oh. We still got quite a ways to go before we get to the ranch house, ma'am.
I have never seen anything as beautiful as all this in my whole life.
Yeah. The Ponderosa's really something, all right.
All this is a Ponderosa?
It sure is. Biggest spread this side the Sacramento Valley. Folks around here claim it could be biggest west of St. Louis.
And it all belongs to Ben Cartwright.
It sure does. Ben and the boys raise more cows and sell more timber than anyone else in the territory.
You know, I've heard so much about that beautiful house he built up here in the mountains. I can't wait to see it.
This is it, ma'am.
You can unload my luggage here, please, and very carefully. Thank you.
I expect when you get ready to leave here, Ben Cartwright will tend to it himself. No more need for me.
Oh, I'm sure I'm in good hands now.
Yes, sir.
And I thank you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very kindly. Excuse me. I don't care.
Oh, fine horse, isn't it?
Oh, yes'm. He's purebred stock. We imported him all the way from Kentucky.
Kentucky? Well, that is a long way, isn't it? You must be the one they call Horse.
Oh, no, ma'am. Not horse. Not H-O-R-S-E. Just plain Hoss. H-O-S-S.
Well, Hoss, when you're finished here, would you please take my luggage inside?
Ma'am, are you sure you got the right place?
Oh, this is the Ponderosa, isn't it?
Yes'm.
Well, then I've come to the right place. Oh, you know, I would have known you anywhere. You're exactly as Ben described you.
Ben, ma'am?
Yes, Ben. I'm Mrs. Cartwright. I'm Mrs. Ben Cartwright.
Tell me that Pa would get married and send the bride back here by herself. Now, there's something wrong. And what did you have to put her up here for?
Adam, now, what the heck do you expect me to do? Tired of the hitching reel out there and leave her?
Well, you could have come after me.
Now, how am I going to do that? You and Joe were both up in the flats tallying.
Come on, Adam, settle down. You know there's nothing else he could do. Besides, what's the harm? When Pa comes back, he'd clear the whole thing up one way or the other.
Dad burn it, Joe, don't this beat off?
Hey, come on. What's she like?
Oh, wait till you see her. She is really something.
Hey, sounds like quite a woman, Adam.
Not interested in what she looks like. I'm interested in finding out what this is all about.
Oh, you think it's so impossible that our Pa could get married?
I think it's impossible that he'd do it this way, yes. And if either one of you had any sense, you'd see it that way.
It's lunch.
Gentlemen, may I join you?
I'm Joe Cartwright.
Well, how do you do, Joe?
Ma'am, this is our older brother, Adam.
Adam.
How do you do?
Your father told me you'd be surprised, but I hope that isn't disappointment I see on your face.
Ma'am, it takes our brother Adam a little longer to get used to things.
Have you, known my father long, Miss?
Not Miss, Adam. Mrs. Jennifer Cartwright. And no, I only knew your father a few days, but, well, it seemed like a long time. It seemed like I'd known your father all my life.
Well, now, isn't it a little unusual to marry a man you've only known for a few days?
It's unusual, but not impossible. Not for us.
Ain't that romantic, Joe?
If, you'll excuse me for saying so, ma'am. Looking at you, I can see how that might happen.
Well, thank you, little Joe. You know, I appreciate your saying that, even though Ben did tell me you were the flatterer of the group.
Miss, I'd like to know where my father is and why he didn't come back with you.
He still had some more cattle to buy, and after all, a trip like that's no place for a honeymoon.
That's just like Paul.
But he didn't start out to buy stock.
No, and he didn't start out to get married either, but he did. Oh, look, I know this has been a big surprise to you, but when your father gets home, he'll explain it all.
That's right, Adam. Hey, look, why don't we have a drink, celebrate?
I'll get it.
Okay.
Thank you. Here's to the Cartwrights. To Hoss, little Joe, Adam, Ben, and Jennifer.
I just don't understand it. Now, he had no intention of getting married. And even if he did, he wouldn't do it this way. He wouldn't do it without telling us.
She's going to hear every word you're saying.
I don't care what she hears.
Oh, come on, Adam, calm down, will you? She hasn't done anything to you. Besides, this isn't even any of our affair.
Well, it's Pa's affair, and that makes it mine, and it should make it yours.
Yeah, well, from what I see, I think marrying her'd be a good idea. He could have done a lot worse. Hey, anyway, we're going to find out now.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, boys.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Have a nice trip?
Just fine, Hoss. Just fine.
You, buy any new breeding stock this trip, huh?
Breeding stock? I went to Carson to see the railway people about selling some timber for that new line they're planning up north. You know that.
Paul, you didn't meet nobody new or nothing?
Well, let's stop beating around the bush. Did you get married?
Did I what?
There's a woman inside who claims she's Mrs. Ben Cartwright.
I says I married her?
Yes.
It's a real good-looking woman, Pa.
Oh, she is, huh? Well, let's have a look at this good looker. Oh, you join me, boys? All right. Where is this good-looking woman?
Oh, she's upstairs, Pa.
Oh, is she? Well, I guess you'd better have her come down, eh?
Paul, I think she's asleep. She's kind of tired.
I don't give a hoot. Just have her come down right this minute.
Mrs. Ben Cartwright, this is Mr. Ben Cartwright.
All right, now, come on now, boys. Who is this lady?
Is this some kind of a joke? Who is this?
Well, ma'am, that's just what I was asking.
Why are you doing this to me? Are you trying to confuse me? Is that it, Hoss? Are you hoping I'll say this is my Ben?
No, ma'am. We wouldn't do nothing like that. This is our Paul, ma'am. This is Ben Cartwright.
Little Joe. But this isn't the man I married. This isn't my Ben. I don't know who this man is.
Ma'am, maybe you'd better tell me about this other Ben Cartwright.
I met him in Crater Plain, and we were married there. He told me all about his sons, and he told me all about the Ponderosa. And when I got here, it was exactly the way he said it would be.
Ma'am, I'm afraid you've been taken in.
Taken in. I loaned him $4,000. It was a legacy my parents left me. He said he was buying cattle for the Ponderosa.
Well, ma'am, what does he look like? Did he give you anything? Anything by which he could be identified?
No, I have nothing. I have nothing except a marriage license. Jennifer Lane, too. Ben Cartwright. Well, I guess it really isn't much good, is it? I'm sorry.
Poor little gal. Sure do feel sorry for her.
Somebody really took of her $4,000. A lot of money.
Said she got married in Crater Plain. Whereabouts that?
It's that little mining town across the line in Utah territory, isn't it?
Yeah. Man running around the country, using my name, swindling women.
Well, it'd be a good idea if we went over this Crater Plain and had a look around.
Well, I don't know about we, but I'm certainly going to.
Well, what about Ms. That little gal?
Yeah. She's the only one who could really identify the man. I suppose I'll have to take her with me.
Oh, come on, Pa. It's a 4-day ride. Can't make that trip alone with a woman.
Hey, no, Paul, that wouldn't look right at all. Maybe Joe ought to go along with us.
Us? Who said anything about you going?
Well, now, Crater Plain is a tough mining camp, and it's a long ride. I think it'd be better if we all went along.
Now, just a minute now. Until you boys came into my life, I was perfectly able to take care of everything. I guess you're right, though. Look, let's have a good night's sleep, and we'll tell the lady what we've decided to do in the morning. Better make up a bed in the bunkhouse.
Well, I'm all ready, Mr. Cartwright, but, well, I do feel awfully guilty about getting you all involved like this.
Oh, nonsense. We've already talked that out, and it's really a case of helping each other.
Thank you very much.
There it is, Miss Johnson. Limits of the Ponderosa. Might near as big as the whole state of Rhode Island, ain't it, Paul?
Yeah, just about, I guess.
It must be wonderful to live on a place like the Ponderosa. A place almost as big as an entire state.
Well, Miss Jennifer, it's not what a man has that's important. It's how he got it and what he does with it that really counts.
But how does one man get so much?
By working till his back's near broke like our Pa did.
Other people work hard.
Yeah, but maybe other folks don't dream like our Pa did, Miss Jennifer.
Fight to keep it.
Heidi, stranger, Heidi. Light and set a spell.
Thank you. Thought we could water up a horse.
What? Your water's cheap and I got lots of it.
Thank
Been
you.
traveling quite a piece?
Yeah, from up near Tahoe, near the Nevada-California line. Water up, boys.
You don't say. I never been over there.
No?
Heading for Crater Plain. I reckon, eh?
Yeah.
Lots of folks are nowadays. It's quite a little town. But mind you, watch your pocketbook. The gamblers are cleaning up more pay dirt than the miners.
Well, thank you for the warning. Hey, is it much farther to Crater Plains?
About 8 miles as the crow flies.
Thank you.
Trouble is, you ain't riding crows. I say you ain't riding crows.
I guess we aren't. Oh, is the trail marked?
Good and plain. You won't have no trouble.
Well, thank you very much for the water and for your kindness. And I'll remember what you said about the gamblers.
You do that now.
Thanks again for the water.
Well, what are you doing around here? Doggies, I don't hardly recognize you without a card table between us. I ain't got any gold dust to lose, but I got a bottle in the shack. Might loosen up your tongue. Reckon? Come on in.
take Miss Jennifer to the hotel, see that she gets a good room.
What am I going to do, Paul?
Well, as we make arrangements for the horses, we'll go see the sheriff.
Afternoon, Em.
What do you want in here? You shouldn't come in here.
What's the matter, Em? Every citizen has the right to bandy a word or two with the town clerk.
I've done all I can for you. Leave me alone.
I find now I can use your services.
No. The last time was enough. No more. You leave me alone.
Town clerk's here to serve the people. All the people.
What do I have to do?
You remember Ned Birch?
Yeah.
They're bringing his body into town. I think you ought to let his friends know.
Hello? Anybody here? Howdy.
What's all the ruckus?
We were looking for you, Sheriff.
Don't think I've seen you around Crater Plain before.
No, we just rode into town.
People come looking for the sheriff. Ain't so plentiful around here. What's your name?
Well, I'm Ben Cartwright. This is my son, Hoss Cartwright.
Howdy.
Cartwright.
Sheriff?
I'll talk to you later. Get rid of the body. Ben Cartwright, huh?
Yeah, Ben Cartwright. And that's why I'm here, Sheriff.
That's why you're going to stay here. Ben Cartwright, I'm arresting you for murder.
Murder? What are you talking about?
They just found that on the body of that dead miner out there you shot in the back.
Sheriff, this is why I wanted to talk to you. See, there's another Ben Cartwright. Pa ain't the man you're after, Sheriff.
You look like a nice boy. Why confuse things? You stay out of it, huh? I'm looking for a Ben Cartwright. You say you're Ben Cartwright. That'll do for a start.
Now, just 1 minute, Sheriff. I came here to clear my name. Yes, I'm Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa, Nevada Territory, but some crook is running around these parts using the name of Ben Cartwright.
Now, you wait just a minute. I'll hear your story in there.
Oh, let's go get Jennifer. She'll clear this thing up.
Just a minute.
She's the one that was swindled by that crook.
Oh, hi, Eb. Mighty fine. That's a little rich for you, ain't it, Eb?
Well, I just come into some money. I expect that's my business.
Oh, makes no never mind around here. Some days you got it, some days you ain't. No need to fret about it. You, closed the town up mighty early today, didn't you, Eb?
Yeah. Today ain't no ordinary day. Today's something special.
Wasn't just ordinary day for me. What's so special about it?
They found Ned Birch up at his shack. Dead. They just brought him in.
Ned Birch dead? Why, he was in here just a couple days ago.
Well, he won't be back in again. He was murdered. Shot right in the back.
Is anything the matter?
Oh, yes, ma'am. They got our Paul locked up down here in jail.
In jail? Well, what on earth did he do?
All I know is we walked in there, and Paul introduced himself to the sheriff as Ben Cartwright, and the sheriff arrested him for murder.
Murder? But that's impossible.
Ma'am, we figured you could help us more than anybody else. You see, the sheriff has got Paul mixed up with the same man that stole your money. If you'd go down there and tell him what you told us, then he'd know he's got the wrong man locked up.
Well, of course I'll go. I'll go right away.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll go see if I can find Adam, little Joe.
You just leave your father to me. He'll be in good hands.
We're supposed to be helping you. Looks like things sort of got themselves turned around, don't it?
Your father said we'd be helping each other. That's all I'm trying to do.
Ma'am, I sure do thank you. We all do.
If it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't be here and he wouldn't be in jail. I'm only doing what I can, but I'm sure it'll be enough.
There's no need for you to worry about this. I'll take care of it. Yes, miss?
Good afternoon, Sheriff. I think I might be of some help to you.
Lord knows I need it. What about?
I understand you have a Ben Cartwright in jail.
Well, news travels faster than the plague about him. What kind of help you figure I need?
I also understand there's some confusion about two Ben Cartwrights.
So he said.
Well, I can identify the man you're looking for if I can get a look at him.
I'm not interested in playing games, ma'am.
This is no game, Sheriff.
All right. Well, Sheriff, it's about time somebody talked some sense into you. Just simmer down, Cartwright. Let this young lady take a gander at you. Take all the time you want. Just make sure.
And just tell him the truth, Jennifer. That's all we need here, just the truth.
I might say the law looks unkindly on anything else. He says he's the Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa, Nevada Territory.
Ben, I begged you not to get into any more trouble.
What?
This is the man, Sheriff.
What makes you think I'll take your word for it?
Because I'm Mrs. Ben Cartwright.
Jennifer!
Now, Frank, what is this? I was just down at the jail, and the sheriff told me they were charging Ben with murder.
Honey, you don't believe everything you hear, do you?
Oh, Frank.
Jenny, you know it's not true. Now, why worry your pretty little head about details? That's what I love the most about you. You're always worried about other people. Jenny, you and I, we're going to have everything we ever wanted.
Frank?
Why would you just stand here flat-footed and lie like that?
Didn't sound much like lying to me. Sounded like a woman who married the wrong man.
But why? Why would you want to do a thing like this to you?
There's got to be more to this.
Yeah, but what? How are we going to find out?
Oh, we're going to find out if we have to tear this whole town apart.
Now, hold on. You boys stay out of trouble, you hear? And one Cartwright in here is already one too many. It sounds like pretty good sense to me. And if you want some friendly advice, boys, I'd play it pretty easy. Ned Birch had a lot of friends in this town.
Pa, I promise you, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Adam, find out everything you can, but stay out of trouble. You listen to your daddy, boys. None of you young Cartwrights are so big you can't end up right in here beside him. Keep that in mind. All right, time's up now.
You're making the biggest mistake of your life, Joe.
Just doing my job, boy.
Here He doesn't belong in there, Sheriff. I don't know why you don't listen to him. He's telling you the truth.
I have listened to him, boy. I'm as good a listener as you're going to find in this town. Have been for years.
Yeah, but you don't know the truth when somebody tells it to you.
Take it easy, Joe.
Now, listen, boy. I keep hearing about 2 Ben Cartwrights and a wife who ain't a wife. I admit we get a John Smith through here 2, maybe 3 times a month. A few Barts, a couple of Reds, a couple of Blackies. But Ben Cartwright just ain't John Smith, you know what I mean? Just ain't so easy to believe.
Yeah, but you believe that woman when she says she's my pa's wife and she isn't. I don't see you making any effort to find out about her.
Boy, don't tell me how to do my job. Oh, come on in, Ab.
Sent for me, Sheriff? If you're busy, I can come back.
No. Just busy waiting for you, Ab. Stick around, boys. This might interest you.
Unless it has something to do with our pa.
Stick around. You been reciting many words from the book lately, Ab?
Weddings? This town ain't much for getting married, Sheriff. You know that. Folks too busy for that sort of thing.
And you'd remember if you hitched anyone lately, wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know, Sheriff. I've been a little peaked with the misery lately. My memory, it might not be what it should.
You look a little peaked to me right now.
Are you some kind of minister?
Minister. I'm a city clerk.
See what I mean, boy? Just trying to do my job. Have a look at this, Eb. It's your writing, ain't it?
Well, yes, I expect that is.
You remember the man, Ed? Remember this Ben Cartwright?
Well, maybe if I saw him.
Well, let's have a look.
The man wears his best duds to his wedding. If I could see him and...
Is that the man like it says in this paper? Yes or no?
That's him.
Sheriff!
That's the man.
You better get to talking, Buster, and telling the truth, or I'm gonna squeeze you real tight.
Let him go! I've been a patient man. I've been patient, hoping you'd come up with something. But my patience is over now.
Boys, you better go.
All right, are we going to give up that easy?
Of course we ain't.
Then let's go back in there and blast them out.
No, now, wait a minute. You two find a place to light. Try the saloon. I'll meet you there later.
What are you figuring on doing, Adam?
I'm going to have a talk with that lady.
Sheriff.
Sheriff. You said I'd have a chance to talk.
I figure you've had it.
Well, I didn't want to say anything when the boys were here. They're hot-tempered, but well, I have my rights.
Sure you have, like everybody else.
Well, then will you please pay a little attention to what I have to say? And that man that was just here, he's lying. The woman that was here before, she's lying. She's not my wife.
She said she was.
Sheriff! Now, hang it all, man. Why can't you send somebody to Virginia City? There are 100 people there who can identify me.
Virginia City. Take the better part of a week round trip. I've got the time, but I don't know about the town. They might have different ideas.
Here.
Why did you lie about my father?
I don't know what you mean.
My father's life is threatened now. I want the answers to some questions.
You're hurting my arm.
I'll break it. Now, what's it all about? Start talking.
Get your hands off her, Cartwright.
You're pretty good at threatening a lady. What lady? Get his gun, Jennifer.
What are you doing?
Get out of the way.
Frank, you can't do this. I won't let you.
Get out of the way!
No, Frank.
Cartwright, you get out of here. Get out of here!
Please, Frank.
Look, Jenny, we're in this thing for money, $10,000.
But how far do we have to go? Look, Frank, I got Ben here. I got him in jail. I even got his sons to
All
come...
right. All right. You've done real fine.
I'm not complaining, Frank. I never have. I've always done exactly as you told me to, even when I didn't want it. But when you had that gun in your hand, it scared me. Frank, it's not like you. It's not like us.
Yeah, I guess I got excited. Maybe I was even a little scared.
All I've ever really wanted was you. Oh, Frank, please. Why can't we just take the money and get out of here?
We can't do that, Jenny. Not just yet.
But why can't we? That was the plan.
Jenny, are you going to be satisfied with $10,000?
Isn't that enough?
Is it? After you've seen the Ponderosa?
Frank.
We can have it all. The big house, everything that's in it. All of those thousands of acres of land. It's just that I want so much for you. There now. You're not afraid, are you?
No. No, not when you hold me like this. It's just that I don't want you to kill. I'd do anything in the world for you, but not murder. Once you murder, there's no way back. You know that, don't you?
That's right, Jenny. Once you murder, there's no way back. You gotta go all the way.
How'd you do? You see Jennifer?
Why don't you give me your gun?
What happened to yours?
That Jennifer of yours, she had a man hidden in her room waiting for me with a gun.
That's our man. Let's go get him.
Now, it's my gun he took. I'll handle it in a little.
No, wait a minute, Adam. We can't do it this way. You know what Paul said about staying in the boundaries of the law.
So what good's the law gonna do us? That sheriff will believe any lies anybody will tell him.
Joe's right. Now, give me your gun.
Look, we're gonna get the information. We're gonna get it together.
All right? Let's go.
You're them Cartwrights, ain't you?
We've never denied our name.
Well, we want you out of town.
We're not leaving here as long as our pa's in that jail.
Well, we say you are. That man your pa killed, Ned Birch, he was a good friend of ours.
Our Paul never killed him.
You say that. But we think different. Ned Birch never hurt nobody in his whole life. We don't take to him being shot in the back.
Real friendly people they got in this town.
Hold it! All right, everybody over on that side. Away from the door. Come on, move!
Move it right around, boys.
Be real good, nobody get hurt. Come on, keep moving.
Move it on around, boys. Move it on around.
Hold it. Stay right where you are, everybody. You wouldn't want me to turn loose a load of double-out buck, would you? Now, if I was you, I'd put them things away. Might turn into something pure illegal. And if there's one thing I hold to, boys, it's doing everything all neat and legal.
Yeah, like hanging an innocent man, huh?
No, not if he can prove himself innocent. Boys, you all know I don't hold with this kind of doings.
Then run him out of town, Sheriff. Well, there's gonna be plenty of trouble.
Ned Birch had a lot of friends. There's talk of stringing up all these Cartwrights. We don't like the idea of them running around loose packing guns.
I reckon I can take care of that. Now, you going to do it my way, or you want to try it your way? Your way, as I see it, you run them out of town. They lay out behind rocks with rifles and pick you off one by one if they've a mind to. And maybe they would have. Might be they take after their daddy. And your daddy told you to stay out of trouble. Well, you gonna let me handle this?
What do you aim to do, Mike?
Put these Cartwrights where they'll be safe. Like I say, I like everything all neat and legal. I don't want a bunch of wild killings. Your guns, boys. All right, Cartwright. I'm gonna lock you up. For your own good.
Take your choice, Sheriff. It's two of us or one of him.
If you got any liking for that brother of yours, you better start hoping he comes in of his own free will. I ain't going to be responsible for what happens to him when this town gets liquored up tonight. Not if he's outside my jail, I ain't. Get in there.
Stand by and let strangers ride through and kill off our friends? No! Are we going to forget about our pal Ned Birch?
No! Ain't none of us safe as long as the Cartwrights are alive.
I don't like this, Frank. The whole town's getting stirred up.
It's not the town I'm worried about. If it hadn't been for you, that Cartwright wouldn't still be on the loose.
Frank, who turned you into a killer?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's just forget the money and get out of here.
You're not going anywhere.
This isn't like you. Who's changed you? Who's making you do this? Frank? Frank? No. No.
I didn't want it to be like this.
No.
I only wanted him to do some talking.
Well, he won't won't talk now, Mr. Cartwright. Whatever it was you wanted him to say, he won't talk now because you killed him. And I hope you and your father both hang.
You loved him that much, did you?
Yes, I loved him that much.
Enough to want to steal the Ponderosa? Bad enough to want to kill for it?
Kill for it? No, I didn't want killing.
Now, somebody killed that miner. And my father's going to die for it unless you put a stop to it.
All I know was I was supposed to pretend to be Mrs. Ben Cartwright, and then Frank and I were going to go away together.
And then who was going to take over?
I don't know. It's what I was trying to find out.
Tell me who it was.
But I don't know. I swear I don't.
Stop lying, will you?
But I'm not lying. Why should I with Frank gone?
You lied about being married to my father.
But Frank asked me to. And I always did what Frank asked me to.
I'm asking you now. Will you go down there and tell the sheriff that you're not Mrs. Ben Cartwright?
I don't know. Please, I just don't know.
How do we know it was Ben Cartwright that shot our pal Ned Birch? Huh? How do we know it wasn't one of them other Cartwrights that did it?
All them Cartwrights cut out of the same cloth, you ask me. There's one way to make sure, and that's hang a bunch of them.
Dirty sound, that. Some men hear it only once in their life.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I'm going out there and try to stop it. That's my job. I like things clean and legal. Of course, only so much one man can do.
Well, you could at least give us a chance to protect ourselves. Give us some guns.
I wouldn't likely do that, would I, Cartwright? You might decide to shoot me in the back. You've already proved you're good at back shooting. That's what that mob out there is so all fired and stirred up about.
He don't care, Pa. He don't care what happens to us.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. I said go get him and drag him out. They deserve no more of a chance than they gave our pal Ned Birch.
Now, wait a minute, Sheriff. This girl has something to tell you.
Get in there with your brothers, Cartwright.
Sheriff, Frank's dead. And I lied about being Mrs. Cartwright. Frank told me to.
Maybe you ain't his wife, Jennifer, but only you and me knows it.
I know it, Sheriff.
That mob's coming for Cartwright's, not for me.
Oh, no. No, you can't do this. You don't want the Cartwrights. They're innocent. I'm telling you, the Cartwrights are innocent. They didn't have anything to do with this. No, please, listen to me. You can't do this. I lied. This is all a plan. It's not true at all. I'm not Mrs. Cartwright. Listen to me.
Why'd you try it?
Ponderosa's pretty big spread. I wanted a place like that all my life. Not much chance for the sheriff's salary. I figured you Cartwright's dead. Only the widow. I would have worked real fine.
This place of ours is so beautiful. Every time I see it, it's as though I'm seeing it for the first time.
Well, you came pretty close to seeing it for the last time, Pa.
She was sort of pretty, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Pa, in the future, if you ever do decide to get married and send the bride home by herself, just do us one favor, will you?
What?
Don't.
Gomez, I have had all of the stink that I can stand with this gringo.
You think you're through with me, Effie?
When you are dancing in the air, I will be through with you.
But you're not going to hang me. You're not that big. Not you or anybody else in this stinking town.
Watch him. Watch him well. He's full of tricks. Senora.
So, it's finally over with, eh, Hipper?
Senor Carl Reagan is in jail. It will not be over until he is hanging by his neck.
He'll be no loss. He brought nothing to this town but trouble.
There was nothing I could do. He grabbed my keys. He came toward me. I had to shoot.
You did what you had to do. Now it is over. Except that I shall continue to curse the day that I first heard the name Carl Reagan.
There's old Will.
Will Reagan, jumping Jehoshaphat. It's good to see you, Will. What are you doing out this way?
Well, I get a little homesick now and then after all the years in the Ponderosa.
I still say you're the best dang foreman we ever had. Watch it. There we are. There you are. Have you heard from Carl recently?
Matter of fact, I have been. Leastwise, I think so. This come today. Must be from Carl. Can't think of nobody else would be writing to me. It is from Carl, ain't it, Ben?
Let's see. It says it's from Plata, Mexico.
Ah, sure is from him. I just knew it. Last word I heard from him, he was headed in that direction. You know, my eyesight may be failing me, but my instinct is still good. Ben, do you mind reading it for me?
No.
I could have had somebody in town read it, I reckon, but I knew you were just as anxious to hear as I was.
Yeah. Looks like somebody sent you a present here, Will.
Well, I can wait for the present. What does Carl say?
Well, it says that,
Well, go ahead, Ben. Read it. It is from Carl, ain't it?
Well, Will, no. It's, this isn't from Carl. It's some kind of advertisement, that's all.
Oh. Well, if they send me a present, what is it?
It's a ring. It's like some mail order house is trying to sell some Indian jewelry.
This ain't no Indian ring.
I guess Adam just supposed it was.
Ben, I've known you for a lot of years. You always was a poor-handed lion. What's in that letter?
how to break it to you. It's pretty bad news.
About Carl?
Yeah. About Carl. He's dead.
Be sure of it. Be sure of it, Ben.
Well, this is it's from the authorities in Mexico. It's a certificate of death.
How did it happen? What does it say?
Oh, that doesn't say. It just a certificate of death and the ring. It seems official.
I'd know this ring any place. I hammered it out of silver with my own hands. 16th birthday. It was the same year as Mom died. Can they do this? Can they tell me that my boy has died and then not tell me how he died?
Well, maybe there'll be a letter following, Mr. Reagan.
What good would another letter do? I don't want my boy laying there in a foreign land. I want him back here where he belongs. Ben, you've got a wife buried in the Ponderosa. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, of course, I know what you're talking about. But, well, it's impossible.
I don't care whether it's impossible or not. I want my boy back here. I'm an old man. Ain't even got my eyesight. Ain't much left of me. I've got to have my boy back home.
Oh, you think I'm doing the right thing, Pa?
I don't know. All I know is that I saw a man aged 10 years right before my eyes. Not because his son died, but because he doesn't know how he died.
Well, if I can find out what happened, maybe I can bring his son back to him.
And we owe Will Reagan at least that much.
You know, Carl was a pretty wild kid. Suppose the truth's unpleasant.
Can't back away from the truth, Adam. Take care of yourself.
Right.
Poor boy.
Day, huh?
Should have been here yesterday. Melt your whiskers off, it would have.
Oh, could you give me maybe one of those nice outside rooms facing that cool ocean breeze?
Oh, I had to get rid of all them rooms. The guests complained the sound of the waves kept them up all night. Where are you from?
Virginia City, Nevada Territory.
Adam Cartwright. Stay long?
Depends.
I'll show you to your room. Like I said, you should have been here yesterday. Melt your whiskers off. Here you are, $1 a day, and breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, this will be fine. You, say you've been around this town some time, have you?
That's right, sometime. If you want to know a Gila monster by his first name, ask me, I know him.
As a matter of fact, I did want to ask about someone. Carl Reagan.
What about him?
I'm an old friend of his from Virginia City. Also a very good friend of his father's. We'd gotten word that Carl was dead.
I don't know nothing about that. The $1 for the room is in advance.
Oh, that's a kind of a small town. Surely you might have heard something about it, huh?
Look, mister, you want your pillow fluffed up? Call me. And I forgot to tell you, the room is for one night. Trail gang's coming in tomorrow, and I'll be full up.
Look, I was only trying to find out something about my friend's death.
Why don't you go and ask his widow?
Oh, now, wait a minute, lady. You don't have... Pardon me. I've knocked on the doors of half the houses in this town.
What do you want, senor?
I'm looking for Mrs. Carl Reagan.
I'm Mrs. Carl Reagan.
My name's Adam Cartwright. I'm an old friend of your husband's. I'm sorry that we have to meet under these circumstances, but I'd like to talk to you for a moment.
My husband is dead. There is nothing we could talk about. Good day, senor.
Mrs. Reagan. Well, Mrs. Reagan, we meet again. You can hardly slam a door in my face here. May I buy you a drink?
Please, senor, I'm busy. I told you I do not wish to talk.
No, I haven't very much to ask you. Shall we sit down? I'm not sure if Carl ever told you about his father, but I know him very well. He's quite anxious to learn as much as he can about Carl's death. Surely you can understand that, can't you? Oh, thank you. Now, may we have that drink?
What do you want to know?
Why didn't you write Carl's father? Why did you leave it for the law to do?
I thought it was better that way.
Why? Was there something you were afraid to tell him?
Please, senor. Let things stay as they are. Go back to Virginia City. Go home, Mr. Cartwright.
All right, Mrs. Reagan. I'll go home. After I get a few answers.
Ah, senor. Come in, senor.
You're in the wrong room, aren't you, mister?
Oh, no, senor. You are.
All right, what's it all about?
I tell you, senor, you are not only in the wrong room, you are in the wrong town.
What makes you think that?
Oh, I do not think this, senor. I know it.
Who sent you, Maria?
Senor, why don't you get yourself a good night's sleep, huh? And in the morning, you'll feel fresh and rested for the travel.
No, it's quite the other way around. You're the one that's traveling. Out, now.
Senor, you are a very stubborn man. What? Sleep well, senor.
The one they call El Jefe?
I am the law in Plata, if that is what you mean.
My name's Adam Cartwright.
I know what is your name. I know that you came into this town alone. I know that you are staying at the hotel. I also know that you asked the same questions too many times.
Well, now, if you know all that, maybe you also know the name of the two men that were waiting for me in my hotel room and jumped me, huh?
That is something that I probably do not know.
Well, what do you intend to do about it?
Senor, we did not ask you to come to Plata. Maybe it is better that you leave.
Why should I leave? I just got here.
Perhaps you are stepping on a dead man's toes.
Carl Reagan was a friend of mine.
Senor, it is time that you should know this. That you are a friend of Carl Reagan does not make you a friend of anybody in this town.
Well, no, I didn't come to this town to make friends or enemies, either one.
The man that you are seeking is dead. But even his memory is hated here. Is that enough, senor? Do you want to know more?
Yes, I'd like to know how he died.
The official records show that he was killed while attempting to escape jail.
Escaped jail? Now, why was he in jail?
For murder. For 50 murders. But only for one that I could prove.
Do you have a trial?
He have a trial. Of course. And he was sentenced to hang. But he tried to escape. Senor, you ever see a man without a face? My deputy Gomez, a double-barrel shotgun at close range. It was second best to hanging.
I can't believe Carl was a murderer.
You're lying, senor. Or else you do not know your gringo friend very well.
I'm not lying. What reason would he have?
Reason? That one needed no reason. He smuggled guns to renegade Indians. He robbed mine shipments. He was a killer. Is that reason enough?
Well, I only have your word for this.
Your loyalty touches me, senor.
My loyalty is to a dying old man who loved his son.
I weep for him.
I made Carl's father a promise. I came to this town to do something, and when I've done it, I'll leave.
You leave a lot sooner, Senor Cartwright, or you will remain without a protection of the law.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
What does that mean? Another gringo told me not long ago that he was in this town for peace and quiet, to become one of us, to learn our customs. And there was not one day of peace and quiet from the time that Senor Regan appeared. The road to our town goes two ways, senor. My advice is to go back to your own people.
Hello, Maria.
I thought we had already said goodbye.
Oh, you said goodbye. I didn't. Besides, I haven't the answers to my questions. Could I change your mind about having that drink?
No, thank you.
Well, maybe you could just sit with me.
I'm paid to talk to customers. It's part of my job.
It's very strange finding you working in a place like this.
Why do you say that?
Well, Carl was a proud man. Somehow, I just don't think he'd want his wife to work in a cantina.
What was he like when you knew him?
It was like a colt, which you could never break. Sometimes he was gentle, even sentimental. A man with a restlessness. Could never stand still. Wanted me to go to Mexico with him when we were kids.
You did not go?
No, I put down roots on our ranch, Ponderosa. My father's there, my two brothers.
It is good to have a family.
Yeah.
But a woman goes with her husband.
Tell me, Maria, was he as I remember him? Were you happy with him?
I married him.
That's not what I asked.
I do not know what you have heard. Some people did not like him. You saw good things in him. So did I. That's the Carl Regan I love.
It would have been better if you hadn't come here, cowboy.
I've been told that before.
You're buying trouble.
Well, now, since when did you start worrying about me?
I didn't like Carl Regan, but I do like Maria. She's a good kid, and I don't want any harm to come to her.
Well, neither do I.
It's a little late for that.
The gringo, Maria. What did he want?
He does not have to be a concern of ours.
But he is our concern. You were told not to talk to him, were you not?
Be careful, Pablo. You're hurting your sister.
If she is going to be a fool, then she will be hurt. Now, what did he say, huh?
Please, Pablo, you're hurting me.
Pablo is right, little one. It is a great concern to all of us. Tell us what the gringo said.
Nothing. He said nothing, and I told him nothing.
Now, tell me, little sister. What did he want?
Just wanted to talk about Carlos, how he was, how we met, about the marriage, if we were happy. He wanted to tell Carlos' father about those things. That's all, I swear it.
You all right?
Yes, I'm all right. Why don't you leave us alone?
These are the two that waylaid me in my hotel room.
It was a mistake. They are my friends.
Your friends? Some friends from the way he was screaming. Take care of his arm. He won't die. We're going to have a talk with El Jefe. Let's go.
What is the meaning of this, Cartwright?
Well, you told me not to expect any help from the law, so I'm taking care of it myself. It's one of the men that jumped me in my room.
This is so, Pablo?
See, Jefe, it is all. I'm only sorry I didn't kill this gringo pig.
All right, Cartwright. Put away your gun, or I will have to take it away. ¿Qué pasa?
This gringo, this foreigner, he was molesting my sister.
Your sister? I don't know what you're talking about.
It is true, Jefe. Pablo came to me and told me this foreigner is spending much time with Maria.
Well, I don't know whose sister she is. I was just asking her questions about her husband.
I warn you, Cartwright. We do not like you gringos interfering in our affairs. All right, Pablo, you can go.
What are you doing? Aren't you going to arrest him?
For what? For defending the honor of his sister?
My gun, gringo.
Maybe it is Senor Cartwright who should be in the cell, eh, Jefe?
No. Senor Cartwright, he is an intelligent man. He probably has enough intelligence to get out of Mexico now. If not, the cell will still be there.
Startle you?
So you're still here?
Yep, still here. But you can stop worrying about Maria.
Has anything happened to her?
Oh, no, she's all right. Why shouldn't she be? She hates gringos just as much as anyone else in this town.
Oh, I guess that means you're getting ready to leave this beautiful village of ours.
Well, I don't have much choice. Unless I sleep in the street. You only let me have that room for one night.
You can keep the room for another night.
What made you change your mind?
Maybe because that trail gang I told you about ain't coming in.
Or maybe because of Maria?
All right. Maybe it is because of Maria. That girl's like a daughter to me. I ain't gonna cuss her out for the rest of my life just because she made a bad marriage.
Well, I don't know that that's true. Was it a bad marriage?
What did you expect? You must have known Carl Reagan was rotten to the core.
Why don't you tell me about it?
Ain't nothing to tell. Carl Reagan was a thief and a killer, and he used to beat Maria.
She said she loved him.
Well, don't try to understand that, Cartwright. You couldn't, unless you were a woman.
Pablo, is he really her brother?
Yes, he's her brother, all right. But he might as well not be. He's scared, just like everybody else in this town. That's what Carl Reagan did to men.
Pablo and Juan, what was their connection with Carl?
Go home, cowboy. This ain't no place for you. Get out while you still can.
I'm not going to leave here until I find out the truth about Carl. Now, if you know it, why don't you tell me?
Why do you have to ask so many questions?
Hello, Carl.
You recognized my voice, didn't you?
I certainly did. I never thought I'd hear it again.
Well, you wouldn't have, Adam. But you just had to ask questions, didn't you? Now, I don't want to have to kill you. But now that you know that I'm alive, I guess I'm going to have to. Now, you put your gun on that table nice and easy like.
I come 1,000 miles to find a man raised from the grave like Lazarus.
That's good. You always were the bright one, weren't you? The great Adam Cartwright. Beulah, you get us a bottle? Now, Adam and I, we haven't seen each other in years, have we? We got a lot to talk about. Sit down there. How's my father, Adam?
Nearly blind. Nearly dead inside over you.
Then you can see how embarrassing it'd be if I let you go back and tell him I was still alive.
Why'd you do it, Carl? All this.
Beulah, why don't you go to bed? And keep your mouth shut. I know when I'm well off. See, I had to, Adam. They were going to hang me. But I thought it real clever of me, having myself declared dead. Now, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a man killed, Carl, now. Who was it? Who'd they bury in your place?
Oh, now, Adam, now you don't ask questions like that. But I'll tell you, he was a man about my size, wore my clothes. He was a friend, too.
And I suppose it was you that sent those 2 thugs after me, huh?
Well, I was sorry about that. You always was a peaceful man. I thought that you'd think it out clear and leave well enough alone. Why didn't you?
Well, I suppose I had to find out about you for myself. You know, the law in this town doesn't have a very charitable opinion of you.
El Jefe, he wanted me so bad he could taste it.
Well, he's going to taste it even more when he finds out you're alive.
Yeah, I guess so. So I can't let him find out, can I? I stayed dead, Adam.
It won't last, Carl. If it isn't El Jefe, it'll be somebody else.
Well, you let me worry about that, won't you?
And Maria? What about her?
We used to play a little game, taking each other's girl. You remember that?
Sure, I remember.
Let me give you a little advice, my friend. You stay away from my wife.
Come on, Carl. We're not kids anymore.
And I'm not playing games anymore. What are you going to tell my father when you go back home?
I had assumed I wasn't going back.
I don't want to kill you, Adam. Now, you'd listen to a proposition, will you?
I'd say under the circumstances, I don't have very much choice, do I?
That's right. I wouldn't do this for anybody but you. But when you go home, I want you to tell my father I died of the fever, smallpox, something like that. You'll think of something.
Beulah, she knows you're alive. Pablo, Juan, Maria.
Beulah, she's afraid to talk. She knows me that well. Pablo and Juan, well, they want money as bad as I do. See, there's a silver shipment going through here day after tomorrow. I'm going to take it.
You left out Maria.
No, I didn't leave her out. She's in love with me.
I guess I really never knew you, Carl. You are a mean one, aren't you?
Yeah. And I'm going to be a rich one. After that silver shipment, I'm leaving Plata. There's other places to go, new worlds to conquer. Dead man. Nobody looks for a dead man.
And if I don't take your proposition?
Then I'd be the one without any choice, wouldn't I? And I want you to get a good night's rest and be on your way to Virginia City by tomorrow night.
Or
I'll kill you.
Senor Cartwright. I thought you would be gone by now.
No, I have some information I think might interest you.
It's possible, but I doubt it's probable. You know, I can tell you every move you make since you've been here.
Well, now, if you can do that, then you can probably tell me that I saw an old friend last night.
I was not aware that you had an old friend.
I saw Carl Reagan.
Senor, my pay is not the biggest pay. My job is not the easiest. It's too early in the morning for jokes.
It's no joke. He's alive.
I tell you, Carl Reagan is dead. Dead.
And apparently you didn't take a very good look at the man that was killed in your jail.
Do you know the effect of a double-barrel shotgun at close range?
I know the man I'm talking about. I saw at close range. It was Carl Reagan.
Senor, I do not know what it is that you are up to. But I tell you again, I do not like gringo tricks.
Well, now, you're going to have a lot more than tricks to worry about. There's a silver shipment coming through here the day after tomorrow. Reagan's planning to take it and get out of the country.
Silver shipment. Go por del Plata mines, eh?
Why don't you believe me?
Why should I believe you? One moment you are his friend, and the next moment you are accusing him. You wear two faces, senor.
Well, if I do, it's because I know two Carl Reagans. When I first came to Plata, I was looking for an old friend.
And now?
Well, now I know what you told me about him was true.
I do not like to deal with liars, senor.
I'm telling you the truth. Carl Reagan's alive. His death was just a trick.
If he is alive...
He threatened to kill me if I didn't leave town. He meant it. If I don't go, he's going to come looking for me.
The Copper del Plata mine, that is the lifeblood of this town.
Well, hadn't we better do something about it?
Perhaps I've misjudged you, senor. If you have a plan, I will listen.
I have a plan. When Carl finds out I came here to see you, he'll try to kill me. You stay close to me. Keep me in sight. I think maybe together we can handle it.
Any man who believes that all men of one race are bad because one man of that race is bad, this man is a fool. I will not let you out of my sight.
Well, I won't feel any the worse knowing that.
Adam? Adam, I thought you left town.
Is that what Carl told you?
So you know.
Yes, Maria, I know.
You must leave. You must not stay here.
Maria, I came here to find something kind to say to a grieving old man. Now, if you have something to tell me, I'll listen.
Adam, Carlos was your friend.
People change. Forget him, Maria.
Can you forget him, Adam? First, he was like you said. Wild. But good wild. Gentle wild. To me, that is. He never hurt. He cared. He seemed to be needing to be loved. To be wanted.
And you?
I wanted him to. I would have given up anything for him. Even my own people.
It's all in the past, Maria. I'm telling you again, forget him.
Forget him? He's alive and I'm his wife.
Maria, come back to Virginia City. Back to Carl's father. You can start a new life there.
I couldn't do that. I can't leave him. Too many memories.
Maria, can't you realize they're all gone? That's all dead? It's as though he were really in that grave.
I know that. But I must follow my heart. I must stay here.
I tried.
Yes, Adam. You tried.
Hola, Jefe.
It is quite late. It is getting dark, Gomez. I expected you back before this.
Well, there were some matters to attend to, Jefe.
I suppose there were. And there are some matters that I would like to talk to you about.
Of course, Jefe. These things you want to talk to me about, they are important?
They are important.
What do they concern?
They concern a dead man who is not dead. And a man who is buried who is not Carl Reagan.
But how can that be, Jefe? You saw the dead man with your own eyes.
I saw his clothes. I saw the size of the man. His face I could not recognize. You saw to that. Gomez. You let that gringo corrupt you as he has corrupted the others.
My pay here is poor, Jefe. I could not help it if a share of the silver shipments became attractive.
The shipment tomorrow, a part of that is yours, too.
That is right, Jefe. I will share.
Somehow I will stop you.
It will be difficult for you if you are locked in your own jail. Inside, Jefe. Inside. And if you are counting on Adam Cartwright, I must tell you that that too has been taken care of.
It's open.
This just came for you. Got the breath of a woman, it does. You don't let no grass grow under your feet, do you, Sonny?
How'd it get here?
Oh, a little tyke came running in, flung it across the desk at me, ran out again without so much as a boo.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I must see you. It is important. My place. Maria.
Come in, please.
What's wrong, Maria?
It is far enough, Gringo.
Thanks.
I could not help it.
Pablo's little sister is a very obedient wife, senor.
I will take care of this myself. You go and help Senor Carlos. Tell him we will meet him after dark.
Muy bien, Pablo.
I tried to tell you. You have to admit, I tried to tell you.
I heard every word you said.
But not loud enough, huh, friend? Now, you know I can't let you leave this town alive. Not after you went and seen El Jefe. That's right, Adam. You're on your own. El Jefe, he's not going to be able to help you. Gomez, he took care of that.
That's who does your dirty work, huh?
And Gomez is a very reliable man. Ain't that right, Pablo?
That is right, Carlos.
Why'd you do it, Adam? And why'd you stay?
I just wanted to see if there wasn't one person in this town besides Maria that would have a decent word to say about you.
It's never really mattered to me what people thought about me. You ought to remember that, Adam.
I remember you like taking chances. Why don't you have brother-in-law here give me back my gun?
You wouldn't shoot me, Adam. You're much too moral for that. Even if you would, it'd spoil things between you and Maria. Yeah. She'd hate you for the rest of her life. See, she's very moral, too, aren't you, Maria?
Carlos, do not talk this way. You promised we would go away. I'll do anything you ask of me if you do not kill.
Yeah, you see, I've got it straight. This is not the first time you tried to take a girl away from me, Adam. Only this time it's different. This is my wife.
You don't stop at anything, do you? Why do you think all this is going to get you?
What's it going to get me? It's going to get me a lot of money. That's what it's going to get me. But, Adam, you ought to understand that. All you Cartwrights always had a lot of money.
Well, we worked for it. We didn't get it this way.
What difference does it make? I'm going to be rich. That's what matters.
Think you'll live long enough to spend it?
Yeah, I'll live long enough to spend it. Because I'm not going to let you or anybody else get in my way.
No, Carlos. Cannot do this. I used to think there was good in you. I still want to believe that. Don't you know that?
Pablo, take her away from me.
Carlos, if you kill Adam Cartwright, I'm going to tell El Jefe myself.
I told you, Carlos. You cannot trust this one.
I think you're right. If you can't trust someone, then what good are they? Now, you take him over me?
No.
All right, the grave's big enough for both of you. Pablo, you still loyal to me?
See, Carlos, I told you.
Yeah, all right. Then I'm going to give you a chance to prove your loyalty. Shoot her.
Carlos!
Pablo, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? She's only your sister. Go ahead. Your master's giving you orders.
Shut up, Gringo. You I would gladly kill.
We're not talking about me. We're talking about her.
You're talking too much, Adam. Pablo, I'm waiting.
You heard him. He's waiting. Don't tell me you got trouble with your conscience. Think of all that silver.
No. Perdiz, I cannot do it. Pablo is soft. I will kill her for you.
Kill her! Oh, that was smart, Adam. You're good. But you always were good, even as a kid. You tell my father that I thought about him. I thought about him often. Maria, about...
I had built my jail too strong. When Gomez locked me in, I could not get out. But thanks to you, Gomez is finding out the same thing. You know, senor, I had made up my mind that there would be no more gringos in this town. But that was wrong. You are welcome anytime.
And you're welcome on the Ponderosa, El Jefe. You still have time to change your mind, Maria, and come along with me. I know Carl's father would like it.
No, Adam. I must stay here with my people.
Goodbye, Maria. Beulah.
Goodbye, Adam.
Vaya con Dios, amigo.
She was a pretty gal, huh?
She was a beautiful gal, Mr. Reagan. Ask her to come visit you sometime.
Oh, I'd like that. I hope I didn't ask too much of you asking you to bring my boy back home.
Not at all.
He was a fine boy, wasn't he, Adam? Wasn't he a good boy, Ben?
Yes, he was a good boy.
I'm glad he got married and settled down. I'll bet he was a good husband. Wasn't that what she said, Adam?
When she talked about Carl, it was just like we knew him. She loved him very much, Mr. Reagan.
That's what I wanted to hear. Well, thanks, Adam. Thanks again. Come on, babe.
I hope I did the right thing, Pa.
You did the right thing, Adam. You brought a man's son back to him.